Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, back with you once again. And you know what? Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's get into the WrestleMania, the mid of WrestleMania. It was, not the goodest thing, not the baddest thing, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Some things here, like, WE buying AAA, even though it's basically was on its last legs. They were trying to get that stuff sell. Thanks to AEW, working with them, I think they built up their profile enough so they can get sold and everything, which is interesting. That could be, all that stuff is happening, all that good stuff. Let's see. Oh, we got Blue Bolt Sports is over in politics. Let's see. Thank you for checking in. Let's see if I can get the comments thing here. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about this stuff here. Yeah, I think Bianca should take a break. Straight up, I don't want to involve with Naomi. We'll talk a little about that, but honestly, I think that we probably be, yeah, and a lot of this is, her being, not being there, because I think the roster is okay without her, but she is star. She is a star, homegrown, big star, and WE, should be treating her as such. And I think that should be, take a break. But, what do you want her to do? I mean, at this point, you have her off for a while. And if she comes back, that's going to be the feud. You know what I mean? Jade or whatever. You just delaying the inevitable. So I think that's what's going to happen. But now, that's my personal thing. Even though I think that match, her, Sky and Rhea Ripley, I think it was one of the best matches on the WrestleMania card. And the reason why I believe that is because it was, the three ladies did one hell of a job. And I wished it wasn't a main event because, good Lord, that main event was complete garbage. And I don't care what anyone says about that. And, yeah, I agree with that right there. I just stopped watching. I can go, the Raw after Mania. You have Becky Lynch. Yeah, Rhea should be, but I honestly think Rhea and Bianca should have been the main event at WrestleMania. And by the way, this right here, this question right here, it goes back to the point of bad storytelling, and I think this is right here. Well, let's get into this thing. The Rock studying the interview and everything else that happened this yesterday and everything. The Rock didn't have time for schedule for WrestleMania 41, but guess what? Yeah, he did. Here he is, talking all this stuff, saying he did. He made the call about, his absence. Like, I didn't want to be involved in that. This is The Rock. Dwayne Johnson said, let the final ball step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John and Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. Let's let them do what they want to do. Even though the whole thing was Rock selling his soul at Elimination Chamber, the stuff building up to it. The stuff building up to it, it was a part of that. And yeah, he's not here. Make it make sense. The logic here. I want to sit back and tell me the logic here about how you made into Cody's soul and the John Cena soul. And yet that was the main thing about the Elimination Chamber, and yet he's gone. Right then he came down saying once Cody Rhodes turned heel at some point, he has developed the soul selling narrative as part of the larger story. Then took some 30 bell shots of the creative process surrounding the WrestleMania main event. Exactly. About the American Nightmare and Cena. This is the article from Bleacher Report from Eric Baston. It says this. They had 6 weeks to plan for that. I love to finish. I would have finessed things a little bit differently how they got there, but that's just me creatively. In response to a main event finish clearly panned. Personally, I think the whole match was boring. These two guys don't have chemistry with each other. It just shows that Cena is not. I mean, Cena had moments of he's doing good, flashes of brilliance, but he's old, he is tired, and he doesn't use his age as an asset and such. I look at, for example, Tanahashi. He, like I said, old, no knees, whatever, but he recently had one of the best matches, him and Konosuke Takeshita. Those two had a barn burner of a match. And I'm like, the difference is staggering. And I'm like, that to me shows how They know what the stage of the career, what they can do or what they can't do. That's the issue there. And, you know, Bianca v. Jade. Look, it's going to happen sooner or later. I honestly wish it was later, but the people, the powers that be in WWE want this to happen. Me personally, I would have waited until Jade gets better. I have no idea why they couldn't have her start in NXT. Just have her start in NXT and go to the Performance Center, build herself up. You know, she doesn't need to win the world. You know, Bianca didn't need to win the NXT Women's Championship. Just have her win. Just have her be there, get her reps in, build herself up, then go to the main roster, and that should be the one thing they should have done. But that's what it been. That's what they should have done. But then you have, well, back to this point. Exactly, a lot of people did not like the finish. Me neither. I didn't really care for the match itself. But it looks like it's going to be Damage Control, not the malign group that Bailey had. It's going to be right here by, I love the fact we were just turning away from WWE. It's beautiful. It's clip by the Master Hollywood star and member of the board of directors at TKO. It came across as self-serving. Pro Rock spent what appeared to be a tumultuous stretch of W Creative, leading to the biggest show of the year that threw Paul, Triple H, Levesque, and his team under the buffs. Which, it's not surprising because those two, Dwayne and Paul, they don't like each other. They like, okay, we got our own way, another way. But let's be honest, Paul has his stuff, and Dwayne has his, and I think people will probably, when you look at what Dwayne does in his couple months when he does it, people seem to lean more to that. I think the Triple H love affair, it's over. And now people are like, I don't like this long-term storytelling, especially when you look at the build to WrestleMania. Besides the Rock stuff, it was just very long. It felt like it wasn't a good build to Mania. And instead of the build, it felt like what's the good word for it? It felt very exhausting. It felt like the date. I mean, it's late April. Why are you having WrestleMania in late April? That really, to me, hurt. It really hurt WrestleMania. It's just because, again, we're used to having WrestleMania April, early April, late March. And I think if you do that, and what happens in Elimination Chamber, it's a lot more condensed, and it's just like, well, it feels much more important. And also, another thing, your Royal Rumble main event, people who win the Royal Rumble, guess what? They didn't even go near the main event of WrestleMania. You had to open in the card again. This is, again, the problem with these Royal Rumble stuff. You get a spot at WrestleMania, clever wording, because it used to be main event stuff. And I think that's the problem. I hate the fact that you're basically degrading one great main event in the Royal Rumble for just like, look, I love Bianca and I love, the way I did with John Cena, all that stuff. They should have a big place in the card. But when you win the Royal Rumble, you should, and I say this should be in the main event. It makes it feel like, wow, this you went through this hard trial of this like 30-person Rumble, and you win, and you get that main event shot. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I feel. That's just my personal opinion, and I always believe that. But yeah, let's get to the interview here. Is that The Rock made it very clear the reason he missed WrestleMania is that he basically got into Hollywood, said that WrestlePurist Ibu and all this stuff back in the 70s included reshoots for the upcoming Moana live action film. I thought Disney was gonna make a pause on those live action stuff since Snow White basically failed at the box office, but they have those two in the pike. And it's too late now. Yeah, which only competing in the show's main event. If that's the case, one thing that must stop at the highest levels of WWE is alliance with The Rock to help boost ticket sales and add spice to premium live events. It disrupts creative plans and sends impossible expectations among fans that the final boss will factor into the story when it matters most. We saw the bad blood when he declared in the closing moments of the show, absolutely no reason. Teasing involvement with Rhodes and Roman Reigns that never went anywhere. Prevented CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Oh, yes, this thing. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre should have made the main event, but yep, here we are. There it is. The more this happens, the more the company sets itself for unnecessary backlash when a Hollywood A-lister does not appear as expected. I mean, yeah, even if he was never advertised in the first place. Let me just hold on. Wait, let me just check that. There was like, but guess what? They sold this, by the way, at the event. Look at this. Remember this saying, oh, he's not going to be able to, let's see where it says, I suppose the more that happens, yeah, he was never advertised for the advertised in the first place, but yeah, here we are. This was in Vegas, by the way. This was in Vegas. Finally, The Rock has come back to Las Vegas. Yep, this is what it was sold during Vegas and everything. So yeah, they're gaslighting their fans again. WWE gaslighting their fans once again and putting themselves into that position and making people overexcited. And the crying wolf aspect, it might, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And then we keep going. Re-examine the game. Let's see. Triple H experienced greater success as a booker when he didn't have to account for mega celebrities popping into the frame and becoming a factor in the stories, then waiting around for them to become available to tell the next chapter. Part of what made WWE as hot as entertaining last year, showcasing the motives where he created new stars, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Jey Uso, and all that stuff, which is, I doubt that because the majority of them were under Vince McMahon, by the way. Another issue. Hunter, old Papa H, hasn't really made a big star. All of them, for the most part, their big star stuff was under Vince McMahon. Dominic Mysterio, his betrayal, under Vince McMahon. Liv Morgan, all his stuff, building her and everything else under Vince. I mean, you could say under Vince, no, Triple H, but the horrible booking, that's hurt her as well. Jey Uso, majority tag team partner, and was main player in the bloodline under Vince. Drew McIntyre had he was built up under Vince McMahon immensely. Gunther, his whole Intercontinental Championship reign was under Vince McMahon. LA Knight, okay, yeah, that's one. Jacob Fatu, that's two. Jacob Fatu came up last year under Triple H era. Rhea Ripley, Vince. Damian Priest, Vince. So there's maybe 1, 2. Let's see, 1 and 2, and maybe 3 people here. 3. That's it. Not good. Not good. That's not good. But yet now the creative plans are just whatever The Rock or everything else on Raw and SmackDown. Again, getting right back to the days of the part-timers. Like, okay, these guys don't mean anything. What about when it's only caring about when Undertaker shows up, Batista shows up, Orton, Cena, they're on their last days. Those are the most important people. Lesnar, Taker. Yeah. Exactly. We're in those eras nowadays. And they had clear plans and an effective, oblivious, effective story direction. And the result, exactly, they did. This was true. They had a coherence. But now they have to go back with that. But you know what? Let's really be real here. Hunter is not going to be around long. I mean, since they go all MAGA, and since they're doing that, that means, ladies and gentlemen, that Vinnie Mac is going to be on his way back sooner rather than later. And now this pretty much goes right back here. Is he wants to get back to those stories about coherent product. The Rock made it clear that his commitments elsewhere. He should not feel beholden to what he wants to pop in and do, book how he wants, and not get anyone else over. It was not uncommon for the 2025 Hall of Fame inductee to feature bigger stars and backstage and promos, or video packages to further stories on ensuring Dragon League got on television. Barely on television. Dude was only up. The only times he was based on television was being an LWO lackey, or losing matches or winning. The only matches he won with consistency is his speed matches. Yeah, that was it. Dragon Lee rarely gets any shine, and now you got Ray Phoenix. Now you're gonna have Vikingo and such that he's gonna be there. Dragon Lee is just like he's trying. At this point, by late summer, he's gonna be back in maybe in the late fall. He's gonna be right there. I wouldn't be surprised that AEW pick him back up. Be right back with his brother, causing havoc in the and such. That's what's gonna be, in my personal opinion. Don't like it, but that it is what it is at that point. You know? That way, and looking at hockey game, by the way. I think the Senators and the Leafs are tied up. So I'm doing multitasking. I'm calling these things because that's what I do, baby. Yeah. And yeah. By the way, Otis and Chad Gable. Remember this? Otis and Chad Gable. And by the way, why is Sami Zayn was playing that storyline? I don't know why. You could have just had Otis versus Gunther, which, by the way, they had a match recently, and it was pretty good. Otis versus Gunther. Otis wins. He gets the Intercontinental Championship, and then Chad gets jealous, and he goes off and betrays Gunther, Otis or whatever. Remember that? Remember that could have been the story, but no, they went with Sami Zayn for whatever reason, and then Otis got further and further pushed back into the background, and now they're completely gone. And now he has American Alpha, which is basically Alpha Academy, but just even more losers. But now they got a Mexican gimmick now with Chad Gable, American El Grando or whatever, American Arcano. I don't care. But yeah, that's what we have right now, and that's what is going to What happened to them? I'm frustrated. I am frustrated with the lack of the Creed brothers, who are generally talented, are just like they're just complete losers and doofuses. They should be the ones tagging. Like they should be just why are we going? Look, I like the New Day and their heel New Day, which by the way, they couldn't do anything with the whole Big E and everything else. Is Big E can't be cleared, or are they just like we don't know what we're doing? So that's another issue. Their tag division on Monday Night Raw has been completely like done. And it's like, oh, wow, we have the New Day, so hopefully they'll do something, but I doubt it because there's no good tag team. All the good tag teams are on SmackDown. That's the problem. And then you have, like I said, they're doing back and forth, this, that, and the other, and the third. And I'm just like, once again, they don't really know what they're doing. The WWE has no idea what they're doing. They have, it's just, it's frustrating. It is a frustrating mess. And by the way, this is happening and there's something here. Let's see if I can get this thing right. Okay. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. Let's just share the screen here. But I think this right here from Alpha Announcing, right here. Right here, this right here. This left fans thinking and hoping and anticipating that he will make a surprise appearance to pay off the angle to help Cena win this record 17th championship. Rick kept some of that magic from the year prior, where countless run-ins from Bloodline rules that saw Rhodes win his first world championship. They saw everything and all that good stuff. But that didn't happen. And then Travis Scott did his little saunter down the ring. The lone distraction led to a low blow and a belt shot to Cena, and the crowd cheers. Another problem. Cena was cheered like immensely. Was cheered, and now Cody Rhodes is now turned into a villain. I don't get this. It's the contrarianness of this product. The contrarianism is and with the fan base is such, I don't get this. The foreign crowds got it. They were so pro Cody Rhodes, but now it's just when they go back to America for some reason, the fears that people said about Cody Rhodes, the crowd's going to turn against him, happened. All because John Cena turned heel. I don't get it. I don't get these people. It's like I don't get it. It's either contrarianism or just wanted to be all important to the crowd. Because Cody should. I don't know why Cody would turn heel at this. And here's another problem. Cody turns heel, crowd gonna cheer him too. And then it won't make any logical sense because again, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is going on with these type of things. Yeah. Oh, what's up, owner? Still the gun. It says this. Yep. There it is. It's just these two, Hunter and Dwayne, are trying to put up each other and put the other one in a bad spot. And you know what? The way things are going, Dwayne is going to basically probably be the one lasting long because you know how TKL. I mean, Nick Khan is closer to Dwayne than Hunter. And right here, well, yeah, that's what we have. It's gonna get. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So sit back and enjoy this, man. The backstage drama is gonna be even more over than the people around the and stuff, and that should not be the case. It should not be the case, and I wish that is. I think there's an issue of all of that, just the issue of what WWE should be doing right now. They should be in a very positive place. They got AAA, and all this stuff, some new talent that can actually help them, build up their talent and give a really good foothold, somewhat a foothold in Mexico. And but then this really bad WrestleMania, Raw after Mania was, okay, as I see it. NXT is NXT and SmackDown. By the way, John Cena is the champion of SmackDown. By the way, you remember that? He's supposed to be the SmackDown champion, and Gunther out here choking people out. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee out because he lost the world title. Which the hope will be at least the championships will actually be important. Yeah. Well, let's just see if I can get this. All right. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it's very rare to see any good. I mean, Bianca is a miracle beyond miracles. To have that type of chance to do it, and the Street Profits, who should have been at Mania more than the New Day. Let's be honest, and I would put the New Day on Raw after Mania or whatever. Or put it in a street fight or something. Do something exciting. But this it feels like WE just has nothing really to do. It's just this a real strong. They have the ability to do something great, but instead, like everything else, they just they fall short. And by the way, AEW had a really good show last night. Really good stuff, and they keep doing their head down. And Tony Khan ain't tweeting as much. The only time I saw him tweeting today was him getting Travis Hunter in the NFL draft, which is actually a pretty good pick, by the way. But yeah, they're doing this. They're moving. They're letting their enemy do don't stop your enemy when they're doing mistakes. I think. Let me just see. Oh, it's Napoleon Bonaparte saying, "Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake," and that's something I think Tony Khan probably looked that up and probably started doing it. Not tweeting, not doing it. Let them completely collapse on themselves. But hey. But that can only last one on, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are losing. I wouldn't be surprised. Triple K family Bianca now, too. Yes, Master P over Travis Scott. Yeah. At least Master P actually has some decent albums. Really good stuff. But anyway, we're going to take, let me just take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And when we do, we're going to talk. Oh, we're going to finally get into some of those video games. Let's see, because everyone talked about Nintendo Switch. Oh, Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh. It's no one's going to do anything. This is going to be the worst pre-order, the tariffs and everything else. And yet, guess what happened? Oh, my gosh. Everybody bought it. Everyone's buying the pre-orders. Everyone's going crazy. But I will give you my thoughts on that right after this. We'll be right back.